Multi-platform is the buzzword going around the gaming world as of late. With Xbox set to take center stage and hopefully address all of the rumors, PlayStation just came out with something that's just as interesting. But let's break this all down. Up next. What's going on, guys? It's Kalo, and I'm here to give you the lowdown on all things gaming. And if you're new to Game Sandwich, feel free to subscribe to this channel for weekly video game news content. Drop a like on the video, and welcome to today's Game Bite. Alright, so while we wait for the Xbox news to unfold, PlayStation's Q3 report just dropped and revealed some rather interesting information across the board. Now, while I'm no numbers expert by any means, I have kept my eyes on the industry as a whole, and I noticed a few things. The biggest problems I noticed across the board, no matter the console maker or developer, were layoffs, IPs getting flat out canceled, and it's no secret here, but it's getting super expensive to make games. This leads to companies looking for any feasible route to increase their profit margin. And they want to do that while reaching more people, and locking games to a singular platform will eventually become unsustainable. But let's take a look at this report coming from Reuters, which sheds more light as to where PlayStation stands in this regard. So up first, Sony cut its PS5 sales forecast for the year ending in March to 21 million units sold, which is down from their very lofty goal of selling 25 million units. And Sony went as far as citing the exact reason to all this, to weaker than expected sales during the holiday shopping season. Now, the next bit here is what really got people talking. Quote, the company said it expects a gradual decline in unit sales from the next financial year, and that it does not plan to release any major franchise titles in the coming fiscal year. Now, this is what really caught my eye, and if you didn't check it out already, go check out our PlayStation-centric episode of Hot Topic. This is where Jesse and I kind of hash it out when it comes to what lies ahead for PlayStation. But it goes without saying, if you were expecting another big IP to launch between the fiscal year of April 1st, 2024 to March 1st of 2025, that will not be happening according to Sony's president. Quote, regarding first-party software, we aim to continue to focus on producing high-quality works and developing live service games. But while major projects are currently under development, we do not plan to release any new major existing franchise titles next fiscal year, like God of War Ragnarok and Marvel's Spider-Man 2. Now, I don't want to get you guys too scared here, seeing how you should focus in on this whole major existing franchise titles line, mainly because while that does include titles like God of War and Spider-Man, we will hopefully see a title like Concord or even a non-major title like Until Dawn. Now, let's really crank up the heat here and talk about PlayStation going multi-platform. What could go wrong? When Sony presents these numbers, they want to do their best to present healthy margins over time to investors. So this is where Sony's president brought up the hardware side of things and their plans to help numbers on that front. Quote, regarding the PlayStation 5 hardware, which will enter its 5th year since launch, partially due to its entering the later half of the console cycle, we aim to optimize sales with greater emphasis on balance with profits. So we anticipate a gradual decline in unit sales from the next fiscal year onwards. We expect third-party software sales to continue to expand gradually due to expansion of the PS5 install base and high level of user engagement. In network services, we expect subscribers to be on par with this fiscal year, or slightly less due to the impact of the price revision we implemented in this fiscal year. But we expect sales to gradually expand due to a shift to attractive premium services. Now, I don't think there's too much to be alarmed about, seeing how we are actually pretty deep into the PlayStation 5's life cycle. So the further we get into that, the more people would have already bought their consoles, thus creating this whole sales decline. And it goes without saying, while I'm a certified Xbox fanboy at heart, the PS5 is selling insanely well. This is all despite not having too many big-name games released on the console. Now, speaking of said games, the biggest problem within the gaming world, like I said earlier, is this ballooning budget it takes to produce said games, and the time it actually takes to create them. The gaming industry as we know it has changed over many generations. Exclusivity, in my opinion, was this whole marketing tool used by these companies. And nowadays, that well seems to be running dry. companies like Xbox and now PlayStation are realizing they need to reach more players, especially with the rising cost to create these massive AAA games. And if you don't believe me, well, here's a quote from Sony's president speaking on this exact matter. Quote, "In the past, we wanted to popularize console, and the first-party title's main purpose was to make the console popular. It is true, but there's synergy to it. So if you have strong first-party content, not only with our console, but other platforms like computers, first-party can be grown with multi-platform. And that can help operating profit to improve. So that is another one we proactively want to work on." So, in a nutshell, I'd like to think what this all means is PlayStation is strongly considering moving games to the PC market. And there were rumors making the rounds that God of War Ragnarok and even Gran Turismo are coming into question. Now, does this mean PlayStation will move to this whole day-and-date release schedule? That's yet to be seen. But at the very least, I think it's safe to say we will somewhat see an uptick of PS5 exclusives released on the PC, sooner rather than later. I also think getting games available on multiple platforms is a great thing. You get to choose where you play your games and connect with more people, which is always a kind of wholesome thing us gamers need to embrace. But hey, with all that being said, I'm gonna pass this question off to you guys. Do you think this PlayStation multi-platform move is gonna happen sooner rather than later? To me, I think it's a no-brainer. I think at this point, you gotta change with the times. I also think they're gonna launch their own launcher, like an Epic Games Store, so that way the money goes directly to them. But hey, drop a like and comment on this here video, and subscribe to Game Sandwich for all your gaming news, rumors, and reviews. I've been Kalo, and this has been your Daily Game Bite, and I'll see you guys next time.